Good morning, fellow Nigerians across the globe. As you already know, I am George Onibe. This morning is going to be a little bit dramatic. Maybe some people will have to understand the truth behind the shady deal, the organized crime against some ethnic groups in the south by the Igbo Biafra people. This morning, I am Udugu. I'm a chief in Igbo land and a chief in Abo land, Osetiana. So call me Udugu. Boya dike ho, boya dike ho. Is that not what Simon Ekpa was using to deceive you people? Give us Simon Ekpa biography. You see, that guy is Akwa Ibom carved into Igbo land, but it's unfortunate. And so, I am George Onibe, Igbo Agboman. Call Ned Nwoko, call IPOB, all of you come and rejoice. I have accepted my Igbonity in Yoshi. It's a shame. But hold on. Now, I have decided to put this cap on. I am now Igbo Yoruba. So choose one. Because I wear this shirt, Ufu straight chair. You adopted as your traditional wear. So I am now Igbo. Now, this is Yoruba cap. I hope I am now Igbo Yoruba. Because the first one, because I am Agbo in person, I become Igbo because I wear Ishiago. And now that I put on Yoruba cap on top of my Agbo body, an Igbo Ufu straight chair, Ishiago, I am now Igbo Agbo Yoruba. You people stop fooling yourself. There is nothing I hate more than intellectual dishonest people. Because whatever you people are doing, the truth is that we know how it will end. We know how it will end. And it will not be in your favor, neither in my favor. And so why should we be deceiving our people? No, why? Why? Now, some people sent me video showing Abo people putting on Ishiago. And by implication, they want to tell me that Abo people has agreed that they are Ishiago. They are Igbo. I have no problem with anybody. But you see, the Abo I come from, we are not Igbo people. Yes, we have similarity in culture and tradition, but we are not Igbo people. Because you see the difference between our value system, it is like day and night. No relationship. And that is where they are going to have problems. You know, Ned Nwoko know that Anioma people, under Anioma people, he is going to have confrontation from Okwani people and Eka people. Why? Because you see, we are not for sale. You see, Eka and Anioma has preserved the truth about their originality, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. But then you will not understand, and that is why this morning I decided to make this broadcast I titled, "It is an error to create a Anioma state of Ned Nwoko to Igbo people." It is an error. Whether it is Igbo Biafra, whether it is Igbo Oso, whether it is Igbo Wawawa, whether it is Igbo or Igbo. Once there is Igbo, that creation of a Anioma state is an error. But let me bring it down, and a sin for that matter, so that you understand. I have a Yoruba friend, we were having a conversation, and he said to me, "But you people are Igbo." If that my friend know how hot I feel inside, he would not have made that statement. But I said, "Why is it so?" He said, "Because it has always been so. And rightfully so, it has always been so. We have never been talking about it. Meanwhile, the Igbo Biafras on social media, harassing us, insulting us, we will want to point them to the right direction. Maybe I will join the Igbo cap on top of the Yoruba cap, in the one Nigeria and the unity beggar, so that it can be complete. I think I am now more Igbo. Useless set of people. But let's get it straight. It's okay, because we've not been talking about it in time past. In a humble way, we are trying to make them understand. Are we not fighting for the unification of Nigeria? But it has to emerge organically. We have to know our weakness. We have to know our strength. We have to fill each other's gap. Organically, everybody will become one. But if you want to politicize it, if you want to manipulate the process, if you want to enforce the process on anybody, in the end, the system will always reject itself. It does not work that way. This is nature. This is nature. Now, considering the shenanigan and hulu being created by Senator Ned Nwoko in the guise of creating a Anioma state, where we know he's a criminal and God allowed him to expose himself, is when he said that a Anioma state should be created and given to the southeast for equity's sake, for fairness sake, so that all the region in Nigeria will have at least 60 states. And that is when he showed himself. So if he had known, he would have been canvassing for Anioma and then hide it underground. I think you see him calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. That shows you everything you need to know about Mbata Azonta, the now leader of the fake wing of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. And that is why you begin to see Ned Nwoko sponsoring touts, gay, lesbians, people without moral dignity coming to talk for us. It's a shame. Let's see how it goes. So before now, for those of you who don't know Nigeria, and those of you who say you speak Igbo language, you answer Igbo name, you do this one Igbo. Just accept the truth or be fighting with the lies. Let us see how distance you will be able to get to. When Nigeria was created, Igbo people, for instance, did not know Igbo people. And I'm sure Igbo people did not know Igbo people. There are Yoruba there. There are Hausa there. There are so many ethnic groups there. Everybody was on their own. Nigerian came and said, the British came and said, you are Nigeria. But if you can't beat them, you join them. Our ancestors fought the best they can, but it was organized crime against African nations. And so they squashed us, divided us in the Berlin Conference. And this is where our journey began. Nigerians having been conquered, there was negotiation forth and back. They discovered that the North and the South can never be one. Very difficult. But they believe it can also work. And I believe it can work. And so they moved on to divide Nigeria into two. The Northern and the Southern protectorates. The Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa, majority of the supposed minority were carved into the Southern protectorate. While the Hausa, the Fulani, I'm not even sure the Fulani were there then. The Nupe, the Gwari, the TV, the Doma, the rest of them, majority of them in the North Central, were carved into the Northern protectorate. Now understand, in the Northern protectorate, everybody there is not Hausa, everybody there is not Fulani, everybody there is not Gwari, everybody there is not Nupe, everybody there is not TV, to mention but a few. But if you were born in the 80s, in the 70s, you will know, once somebody say is from the North, automatically that person becomes Hausa. My wife is from Benue State. If you see how community elders query me, you go marry Hausa, the Hausa you see marry, you marry Hausa. The point was, why go that far? But the point I want you to get there is, they were thinking the Doma people are Hausa people. I'm coming. And then those who have traveled, those who know terrain, were the one who began to say that the Idoma people are even more Southern. They are not Hausa. Now, that is for that. And so all of us will agree that everybody in the North are not Hausa, but all of them were tagged Hausa. These people did not complain because they were enjoying it. I'm coming. You come to the Southern Protectorate, the Igbo were there, the Yoruba were there, the Oron people were there, the Ekoyo people were there, the Inzion people were there. We were there. Many other ethnic groups were there. The Isoko people were there. The Okwani people, all of us were there. The Benin people were there. The Olyomo, Esako, Epoma, Awuchi, the Asian, whatever name, Urubu, Shekiri, Patani, Oli, Abrakata, all of us were there. Do you understand? And everybody started doing their own things. And they discovered that somewhere along the line, the two witnesses is not enough to create a viable political front, as I always told you. And then they said, let's create three. And that is majorly, they have discovered friction between the Yoruba and the Hausa. Obafemi was the one on ground trying to, harmonize the process. And all of a sudden, only God knows where Nnamdi Azikiwe came out. From that day, there were friction, there were division, there were strife. Personality clash began. Who is Odogun and who is not Odogun began. I think you see this morning now, I am Odogun of Igbo Yoruba extraction. Because my head now, you see Yoruba, my body now, you see Igbo. Let's see who will claim me. And now, the conflict between these two people, I will consider as a personality clash, creates some kind of hatred, distrust among the Igbos and the Yoruba. And this is one thing the British government don't want under their indirect rule policy. And so what did they do? They now asked them to divide and said some part will be referred as the West, and then some part of this Southern Protectorate will be referred as the East. And so, as an Igbo man, as an Anioma man, right there from Onitsha, all of us were never part of the old Eastern region. Don't forget that it was Moritola that created Imo State, Anambra State, and the rest of them. That Onitsha now, they are being marginalized, but they can't say it because they don't want to receive insult from me. From the Obi of Onitsha Palace, all of them down, we were carved into the Western Protectorate. I am coming. We stayed with the Yorubas. I cannot figure out what actually happened because we are not complainants. When we complain, you know there is issue. But somewhere along the line, people started moving motion and said, we will not benefit anything from the Yoruba. We need to pull out. We are not fully incorporated. We need to pull out from the Yoruba people. And then people like Enahoro, people like Denis Osadebe, so many of them, progressive-minded Nigerian, should I say pan-Nigerialist. They went to the floor of the Senate, National Assembly. They debated the issue. And after much consideration, a plebiscite, the referendum was carried out. And then they created the midwestern region. And so Nigeria moved from 2-phase to 4-phase because you now have northern region, western region, eastern region, and midwestern region. All this while, Anioma Boman. All this while, you were a Nyocha man. All this while, you are Usimidi man. All this while, you are Ndukwa man, Okwane man. All this while, the Igbo were contented in their southeast. They never come to us and say, you see, we are all Igbo. Let's come to the east since you are looking for region. But maybe they did. Because Denis Osadebe was actually a tools in their hands, just like they want to do with Ned Nwoko. But we said no. We will take the destiny of the next generation of our people in our hand. It was not a very fair competitive ground for any of us. A region that is made up of ethnic groups, almost in every 100 meters is a different language. Edna go see San and say from every 1 kilometer to another is a different language. From every pole to pole in Midwestern region, it's a different language. When people say I'm a Doma, if you know how many dialects hide inside that Edo, you go fear. Somebody say I'm a Benin Aishama. If you know how many dialects that is hiding that is inside Aisha, you'll be afraid. I am a Boma. If you know how many dialects that is hiding inside that language, you'll be afraid. And so somewhere along the line, we need to see how we can be able to flow together. But nobody was proven to be the richest, the most intelligent, the most educated, the most exposed. Though some ethnic groups have something to boast of, but they lower themselves. There is no greater love than this, that a man should lay down his life for the people. Benin have what it takes to intimidate all of us. But amazingly, go and look at the history of Midwestern region, till the creation of Edo and Delta State, no Benin man was dragging power. Some people think Obomudia is a Benin man. No, Obomudia is a Abo man. It's the mother that is a Benin woman. Fought me anytime. Let's give you the biography. But what am I trying to say? Benin have a lot of things to boast for. But they never capitalized on that because they understand that nobody takes the kingdom by words. You take it by your action. And you already know that actions speak louder than voice. The Inzon, as you know them today, have what it takes to claim that they are the greatest. But they don't do that. And that is how it is applicable to all of us. We divided the work among us. The Benin somehow represent us when it comes to official duty. And when it comes to the issue of procurement or the duty of ambassadors, the Inzon people do that. And when it comes to issue of confrontation, should I say public relation officer, that is when you begin to see the Anioma people. But nobody was boasting to be better than anybody, and we were able to form a very harmonious region. We were on our own. We were helping ourselves with our bendegare. We were doing yam and other things, tapping palm wine. We were killing fish and not disturbing anybody. We never want to be the richest tribe in Nigeria. We don't want to be the most educated tribe in Nigeria. We just wanted to be ourselves. And our father fought for it. They visioned it. And on a daily basis, we work among ourselves to make ourselves love ourselves, to make ourselves see as ourselves, and we remain ourselves. And then boom, they discover oil in Nigeria. This is where all this nonsense started from. Nobody was paying attention to all this. Because at that point in time now, Igbo people were in charge of everywhere in Nigeria. These Igbo Biafra people, everywhere in Nigeria, they were in charge. But this is the switch. Let me digress. Nigeria was being founded basically by the resources that first of all was coming from Enugu. Igbo people, I give it to them. The era of coal. And then along the line, it was supported by timber, cocoa from the west. I give it to them. And then the north, they have farm produce like granite. You hear the eras of the granite pyramids. And so these three regions usually bring what they have to the table. And with what they have, Nigeria was being founded. But within this era where this criminality started, they discovered oil. And oil was the black gold. There is nothing anybody wants in the whole world up to oil. And lo and behold, the oil was found in the east. And somewhere along the line, these criminal people, Agu Yoronsi and all of them, masterminded this coup because they are the beneficiary. They use minority. That is where the problem started from. They want to control granite from the north. They want to control the cocoa and timber from the west. They want to control the palm oil from the east, the coal from the east, and of course, the crude oil. Ojukwu fought for crude oil, not for the salvation of Igbo people. And then we have 4 regions. Now, Igbo Biafra want to go their own. What they are supposed to do is to stay back in their eastern region and fight Nigeria off. But they started it. They left the eastern region and invaded the midwestern region. The first thing they did was to rob the bank of the Midwestern region, the central bank of the Midwestern region. All the political leaders there, some of them escaped their death, some of them were hunted down, and they took over the Midwestern region. From there, they prepared their ground and was going to attack Lagos before they were stopped around Shagamu. The point is Lagos part of Biafra? Is Midwestern region part of Biafra? And that is when people begin to ask questions. But wait, I think it's Biafra they want. What are they doing in Midwestern region? But wait, what are they coming to do in Lagos? No. Something is not wrong there. People began to ask questions and people begin to talk. And that is when those people who are not Igbo in the old Eastern region, so many of them begin to ask for help because now they are under lock and key by Igbo people. This one that say they are Biafra. Go and ask Senator Akpabio. He knows what I'm saying. Not beside toilet in parents' hide them to survive. And so they were problem. Go and ask people like Ken Saru if you are dead. He will tell you this thing. Because you don't want to know where problems start from. You are crying. Now, do not never begin to cry. I'm coming. And so those who are Nigerians said no. Those people in the Eastern region who are not Igbo need to be saved. And Midwestern region need to be liberated. That is how they had some people work with them and then they descended on the Eastern region. It was all about the crude oil. Ojukwu left. He was later pardoned and he returned. And we say, no victor, no conquest. Let everybody begin. Remember, till this very moment, we have never been part of the Eastern region. Anioma has never been part of the Eastern region. And now ask yourself a question. Why are the Igbos so obsessed today now to claim Anioma as Igbo land? Why are they so obsessed? I must be Igbo, I must be Igbo, I must be Igbo, I must be Igbo. Why? But I will tell you. And so at the end of this scenario, all these things that has happened, everybody started living his own. For some reason, they targeted Midwestern region. Maybe they think we are weakling because Igbo people invaded us, our region, and took over our region. Maybe they didn't have money to fund Midwestern region again. And somewhere they changed the government of the day. And they remove us from region and now turn us to Bende State. No issues. But why we became Bende State, Yoruba has about 4 to 5 states. Hausa have about 5 to 7 states. And Igbo have about 3 to 4 states. But they left us as Bende State. Just like that. Lone Rangers. The lack of Sen Ned Nwoko did not say, no, this region, they can't leave it one. Yeah, we are not marginalized. All of you know the history. How you destroyed a region. You didn't say anything. And along the line, to curtail the Igbo man, Abacha asked them to create region. Geopolitical zone. He didn't call Yoruba or Hausa to lead the panel. He called Igbo person, Dr. Alex Ekwime. And said this pattern of let's change it to geopolitical zone. Remember, they have quashed a region. Alex Ekwime now say, you have North Central, you have Northeast, you have North-North, you have North Bottom, North Upland, North this one, you have Southwest, South Central, South this one, and South, and then Southeast. And they come to us, those part of the old Eastern region they hate so much, who are not Igbo. They now take it to us, they hate, and merge us as South. And so you see, it was easy for us to blend in the South-South geopolitical zone. Not because we know much about each other, not because we love each other, because we can identify with what we have gone through in the concept and the idea you call one Nigeria. Imagine, River State, some part of River State, some part of Bayelsa State, Akwa Ibom State, Cross River State. We are all under the Igbo's influence. And we in Edo and Delta, some part of Bayelsa, some part of River State. We were on our own, and some part of Anambra. But coming together, advancing organically, we don't have issue. We don't have issue. Only politicians wanted to cause problem in Papa, but it did not sell. Because somewhere along the line, if we say we are South, everybody respects itself. Now, all this while, Igbo people did not remember that we are Igbo. But the lie they started telling was that we are afraid that Nigeria was killing Igbo people. So we deny our Igbo-ness. That is the lie they are telling you. But at this time, it is imperative we begin to address them because the name we bear, which is not actually Igbo name, have been weaponized and being used as a manipulative tool to deceive those in the corridor of power. Our people will not speak up if you think they will speak up. When you destroy Midwestern region, nobody spoke up. When you destroy Bendel State, nobody speak up. When you conjure us into Sasa, nobody speak up. If you like, carry us and give Igbo people and call us Anioma, we will not speak up. But when you will can't do with you. No, if I lie, come out and tell me that I lie. And so they begin to hyper it. Oh, Agbo is Igbo land. Oh, Ikwere is Igbo land. Oh, South is Igbo land. Everybody is Igbo land. Everybody is Igbo land. And there are some greedy politicians without vision. All they dream of is next tenure. That is why from councillor they become chairman. From chairman they become minister. From minister they become commissioner. From commissioner they become governor. From governor they want to be vice president or president. That is how they do. When they are old, they look for how to put their children. And you think it's your interest that drives them? You are just a tools. So Senator Ned Nwoko, somewhere along the line in his tiny mind, will be the governor of Anioma when it is given to Igbo people. Because Igbo people will come to social media. You see what they are doing to very dark man? That is what they will do to us. But don't worry. But this morning, I want you, first of all, as a Anioma person, to calm down and reason with me. What exactly are we going to get from Igbo people if we become Igbo property? What are we going to get? They will teach us how to do buying and selling. They will teach us how to do unknown government because they are teaching us already now. Those things that cannot be mentioned, not to talk of being carried out, is not happening in our land. Go and trace, you will see it's not our people. So what are we going to benefit? Ned Nwoko. We will be doing importing and exporting. Is that it? You are crying for the marginalization of Undibo because we are not the one that is actually being marginalized. And I challenge you, Senator Ned Nwoko, as a lawyer that you are, go and edit your biography. Add the history of your father. All this crossbreed where they can't disgrace themselves. Ned Nwoko father, where is he from? Tell Ned Nwoko to tell us where his father is from. Yoshi. Tell Senator Mbata to tell us where their father come from. My father is from Utokbo. My mother is from Umunede. Both of them are Igbo. But it doesn't make me better than you. And when I speak about Igbo people, I know how I put my mouth. Anioma people. You that is shouting, Anioma is Igbo, Anioma is Igbo. That name, Anioma, was it truly Igbo name? Anioma people, I'm asking you. Because the last time I checked, we were a bunch of abandoned people who could identify by their suffering, just as we could identify in this South, they call us. Don't forget, Igbo Biafra people are still mocking us. They will say, where is South? Go and ask Nnamdi Kanu. Nothing like South. Anything Niger Delta. Nothing like Niger Delta. Anything about us, they discredit us. All of a sudden, we are going to become thunder fire all of us. The history of Anioma people goes down beyond a certain era in the history of Nigeria. During the era of the invasion of the imperialists, they mobilized youth from across different ethnic groups. These youth were meant to fight and defend the people. I will not say Nigeria because it goes beyond Nigeria border. Because some part of Nigeria today is in Benin Republic, some part of Nigeria today, as you know it then, is in Cameroon, and so on. This youth they mobilize, they call them Ekumeku warrior, which Igbo people is laying claim. You know, today Igbo people will tell you that Odogun is Igbo language. It's a lie, they stole it. It's a Gala language. Go and look at Igbo history and they will tell you that Ekumeku warrior is Igbo. Igbo people don't know Ekumeku. Ekumeku warrior is not Ekumeku because they don't know the meaning. It is Ekumeku. It's a secrecy. Ekumeku, ono aboro. That is how we gathered. Stop the slave trade. Frustrate the movement of the imperialists. Abo was a stronghold. I'm coming. Abo was a stronghold in this journey. Check that era they betrayed of Aromi Obaisi. No imperialist was allowed to from River Niger and cross to Benin. Go and check the history. From the Portuguese to the France to the English, all of them that invaded Nigeria as imperialists. Passing Abo was a nightmare. Because once they get to the eastern region, around Imo State, they send people. They now have to, with under heavy ammunition, they mount sandboard. The moment they get to Rugodo, they mounted sandboard everywhere. Boji boji, boji boji, boji boji, boji boji. And so, ignorant imperialists running into those areas, they begin to see sandboard, boji boji, boji boji. They will not ask questions. And they will not arm themselves. Because it's not actually boji boji. It is our accent that changed it to boji boji. It was boogie boogie. And check your dictionary. The last time I checked, boogie boogie mean a dangerous forest where criminals hide. Whether you call it boji boji or boogie boogie, it is the same spelling. Accent changed it. And so Igbo gave us boji boji. So Abo is a dangerous forest where criminals are. These were the den of the original Ikumeku warriors. But somewhere along the line, having created political alliance and balance between the imperialists, the invader, and the invaded, they abandoned our people. These people know this truth. And so the Galaman that come to fight to defend all of you stayed behind. And then there is another Anioma that joined this Ekumeku warrior to fight, stayed behind. And then there is another Yoruba that joined, fought, stayed behind, including the Doma, including Igbo. Let me not sense as if I'm discrediting them. They were trapped in that place you call Midwestern region. This area where we were trapped. We were somebody before that time. Our lifeline was altered. But we took our future in our hand. And then our ancestors came together and said, the way it stands, we have to start from somewhere. We started intermarrying. We started breeding. We started expanding. We are not thorough people. We are not minority. If you say you are majority and a minority, can you tell me how only Edo and Delta State is bigger than the entire Southeast? That Edo and Delta State you are seeing is bigger than the entire 5 states in the Southeast. Ned Nwoko is not telling us that let's give more states to Anioma and Delta. Ned Nwoko, one of the Soviet general of Nigeria, is from your area. Go and ask him if I lie. He's a king for that matter. Go and ask him if I'm lying. Only Edo and Delta State is bigger than the entire Southeast. We are not marginalized. People who have 4 plots of land collect 1 plot of other group. You are not asking them to take our own and give to them. Thunder fire all of them. And that is how we form our front. But somewhere along the line, some of us that married maybe from Benin or from Yoruba or whatever, we say we are not Eka people. We formed our own language, the same way we form our English. We started having communities from Urugudu to Bisoba, to Bialin here, to go on to Utokpo, to go on to Turubu, Akumaze, Ekuoma, and then so on and so forth. Ero, Ekmo, Ibake. That is how we began to spread. But yet, there were another group who married from a Jaw, somewhere along the line. Their own language changed a little bit. You begin to see Ndi Okwane, Ndi Obiaroko, and the rest of them. And then there are another one that married from a Gala. Before you see, begin to see Ndi Osimili, and so on. And then there are the ones that married from Igbo. You begin to see Ndi Anyocha. But we can't blend with these people. They never loved us. They never accepted us. But they were not against us. At least that is why we were able to form our future for ourselves. Now, since we can identify by our suffering, we came together and said, okay, let us form a name for ourselves and push our political front. You see, normally when you say Benin people, it's a wide range of ethnic group. But because of Igbo Biafra, today now we are now hearing Asia is different, Awuchi is different. But no problem. That is not the purpose of this broadcast. Let me come back to my Anioma, which is under threat. We now said, let's take the first alphabet of our name. As a Kaman, they took I. As a Nyocha man, they took A. And then as a Ndokwa man, they took N. As a Osimili person, they took O. Now understand, all our language were majorly influenced for one reason, because of Catholic Church. Because the Catholic Church needed how to colonize us properly. They now formed what they call Central Igbo. Central Igbo was manufactured by Samuel Ajayi Crowther by picking language of many Igbo people, supposedly similar language that was used around that terrain. And because they have divided us already, they now produce Central Igbo, which they are using to drag all of us. And then aso Bia, and then aso Bia, and then aso Eke, and then aso Afo, and then aso Oye. If your mother tied to rapper, you are Igbo, you are Biafra. Is that true? Hausa know they tied to rapper. Yoruba know they tied to rapper. So all of them are Biafra. So when I tell you we have Yoruba Biafra, Igbo Biafra, Hausa Biafra, you will not understand. But let me not address further. That is how we form Anioma. A stands for Anyocha. N stands for Ndokwa, Okwani people. I stand for Eka people. O stands for Osimili people. The MA is movement and association. Nothing more, nothing less. But coincidentally, it now has meaning in Igbo. That is where Igbo weaponize it. And most of you who are born today don't know this history. Go and ask Ned Nwoko. I thought he's a lawyer. Or is it a lawyer by degree or lawyer by practice? Is he called to the bar or to the bench? Very dishonest intellectual people. And so because they sound the same way, does it mean the same thing? Yoruba say Ola. And Igbo use Ola. But Yoruba Ola is different from Igbo Ola. Yoruba person can say, okay, Egbon mi marry any Ola. Omoya mi marry any Ola. I'll see you tomorrow, my brother. My senior, I will see you tomorrow. But in Igbo, Ola is ring. That words Yoruba use for tomorrow, in Igbo dialect, is ring. So if you come out to one village now, you see Ola town or Ola town. So who owns it? Yoruba or Igbo? Yoshi. And now, They have carried their unity to enter our community. They discover it's not working. Now they look for Igbo children born in our community to come and be upsetting the history of our people. Why don't you allow Igbo people to blow their trumpet? Why are you blowing our trumpet for us? Why are you the one blowing our trumpet? The moment you say, oh, we are Igbo people are happy, we know your problem. But let me finish with Anioma people. So Anioma people, automatically, those of you from Igbo, come out, let's do referendum. We know it will be rigged. Because if Igbo Biafra people can come out and tell you now they can't is innocent, there is nothing they will not do. You will catch them doing something, they will tell you it's the devil's work. Yoshi. But why can't they leave us? Why can't they allow us to remain who we are? We have been fighting for creation of Anioma. Why they don't allow Anioma to remain in the South? We have never been part of the Southeast. Why are they so desperate that we must go to the Southeast now? This is an insult to midwestern region. It is an insult to the vision of Bender State. It is an insult to everything our fathers fought for to make sure they are not part of the East. It is an insult. Tell Ned Nwoko. He has access to Channels television. He has access to other media that can hyper his lie. But the wound, injury they gave to us, though it has healed, the scar will always be there. So how is he going to do the scar? You will paint it. You are going to buy enough paint. We can assure you that. Igbo people, cry for more state to be created within your region. Leave us alone. We are not having problem with Urobo Shekiri. We are not having problem with Akwa Ibom, Ibibio, Efiko, Ana. We are not having problem with anybody. They are not insulting us. We are not insulting them. Look at the social media very well. Igbo people, why not leave us alone? But some of you will say, I hate you, I hate you. Don't worry. Federal government of Tinubu, I know you may not have much to do about this. Look for a way to stop this creation of Anioma state. This is not the wish of the people. Don't let it happen under your regime. The issue of insecurity in the North Central, we know the purpose. On daily basis, they are killing those people in the supposed North Central. This is how they were calling them Hausa, and these people are not Hausa because they were benefiting. They didn't talk. Today now, there are people in North Central killing them squad by squad. They want to depopulate North Central. And so the real invader will take over the land. And if this killing in the North Central continue, in the next 20 years, you will hardly see anybody that can tell you that I'm from the North Central. And if you Anioma people refuse to speak up, you think Igbo is coming to protect you. This Igbo Biafra, who care for nobody and care for no one. When they start with you, their unknown gunman is waiting. Their unknown gunman is waiting. That time, there is very little Nigerian can do. Tinubu can fight insecurity. Because the time they would have fought insecurity, all of them fought against who would have fought insecurity. And now when you talk too much about fighting insecurity, people of interest will call you. But it's better you don't open your door for them. There are very little we can do, and we are doing the best that we can offer. Say no to Anioma state creation to be given to Igbo people. It is error, and it is a sin. And so for those of you who are deceiving yourself, oh, I wear cloth now, come on Facebook, I'm Igbo. I'm everything, no. I'm Odogu, Ndioshi. I think I'm not Igbo. I'm not Obedike. Oh, I don't get sense. I know one reason. That way now they look for Nagosiamo. This is insult on our people. And if you are Anioma, you are playing with this thing. This is where I'll bring the broadcast to an end. But just to pass a clear message. We are completely against the creation of Anioma state to give to Ndibo. But we are not Ndibo. World Igbo Congress are Igbo Alaibo Development Union are Igbo. Where we are planning the Fulani Igbo, we can wear Igbo. Yanu to where are planning where Igbo. When we are Kushi or Totono when he manage here. When we boom one day, Hanu remember Yaku Yaku. When I'm one day, I'm a Jim, Kodoriku. A Jim here, low men on Wasakaku, querying women Maleka. Chapo then on your no man in the one organ. But a jack with on alien era pomata. Kicking on a rapomalandia bo, umwaka. On Alia Joe on Rajojo. Agwamo Wumbo who can be lost and he bunyokwa. Or something at home, Boniki can in Hibumegwako onyokwa. Kobomari Burimwa. Apato Yangomishi. Instead of one Larase. Ndibo Biafraro. Ejabuki Mufunya Pamario. Unya Tikute, Oraya Pakale. Nekelku Hamono. I would have loved to go and receive insult, but no need. Next time I'll receive insult. Igbo Biafra can see all of you jumping up and down. I did not insult you. I only beg you. Day your day. I make with day my day. Day your day. Make a day my day. I don't know saying about you know. Day your day. Make a day my day. Day your day. Make a day my day. Day your day. Make a day, my day. Onye jiwi hanyu ehyo on your weekend. Drop your insult on the comment section. See you later on.